Right now, at this exact moment, 40 million people are watching videos. 12 million are on a video call. 4 billion are connected to something, someone, somewhere. And not one of them has ever seriously asked, what happens when it all goes away? Not a slowdown, not an outage, gone, forever. Most people assume that would be an inconvenience. They are wrong. We have lived with the internet long enough to forget what life looked like before it. Long enough to forget that this thing we call normal is only 30 years old. Long enough to build our entire sense of self, our careers, our relationships, our economies, on top of something that did not exist when our parents were young. And we have never once asked, what happens if the ground beneath all of it simply disappears? The global internet today carries an estimated $5 trillion in economic activity every single year. That is not a number you can just absorb. $5 trillion. Banks, hospitals, power grids, supply chains, stock exchanges, governments, none of them run the way they currently run without the network that connects them. Within hours of a permanent shutdown, the first systems would begin to fail. Not metaphorically, physically. The coordination that keeps food moving, medicine distributed, and energy flowing is digital. And that infrastructure was never designed to survive without it. But the economic collapse, as catastrophic as it would be, is not actually the deepest wound. The deeper wound is what happens inside people. Human beings are psychological creatures before they are anything else. And over the past 2 decades, the internet has quietly rewired how we process identity, how we seek validation, how we experience loneliness, and how we understand ourselves in relation to others. We do not just use the internet to connect. For a significant portion of the population, the internet is the primary place where connection happens. It is where people feel seen, where they find communities that accept them when their immediate physical world does not, where they receive the feedback that tells them they exist and that they matter. Remove that overnight, and you do not just remove convenience. You remove the architecture of belonging for hundreds of millions of people. Studies on social isolation consistently show that the psychological damage of loneliness rivals that of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The internet, for all its well-documented toxicity, has also served as a genuine lifeline for people who are isolated by geography, disability, mental illness, or simply circumstance. Those people do not disappear when the internet does. They just lose the only door they had. And then there is the cognitive dimension. A generation has grown up learning to think in a particular way. Short bursts, immediate answers, search before memory. Research on cognition increasingly suggests that external digital memory has become integrated into how we process information. The mind offloads. It trusts the network to hold what it cannot. Strip that away without warning, and you are not just removing a tool. You are removing a cognitive prosthetic that entire populations have come to depend on without realizing it. The physical consequences follow the psychological ones like a shadow. Mental health infrastructure, already underfunded in most of the world, would collapse under the weight of what came next. Anxiety disorders that were managed through constant digital reassurance would spiral. Depression that was held at arm's length by distraction would close in. Addiction, and that word applies here more than most people are comfortable admitting, would go cold turkey for billions simultaneously. Withdrawal is not a metaphor. For many people, it is a clinical reality. The quiet truth that none of this is designed to make you afraid. Fear is not the point. The point is awareness. Genuine awareness of how deeply this invisible thing has woven itself into the fabric of what it means to be human right now. Not as a warning, as an invitation to look clearly at something you have been too busy to examine. Because the internet is not going away. But understanding what it has become, what you have given it, what you have built on top of it, is the beginning of a different kind of relationship with it. One where you hold it instead of it holding you. The question was never really about what happens if it disappears. The question was always about who you are when it does not exist to tell you.